Hello, wonderful students. It's Mrs. Bodell, and we are jumping into a brand new chapter, Chapter 5, Lesson 1. So we're on 5.1, and we are on page 303. Page 303, if you have this lightning fast computer with running legs and arms, then you know you're in the right spot. And we are going to a new topic. Again, we're going to be looking at decimals again, and we are rounding decimals. So we're going to remember our place, tenths, hundredths place, and beyond. Anytime it has that, it's a decimal. When you round a decimal, you find its approximate value. So let's jump into example number 1. It says, Andrew's laptop has a processor with a speed of 2.8 gigahertz. Round the processing speed of the laptop to the nearest whole number. Well, remember, a whole number is anything that's like whole, like complete. It's not a part. So if I say it's a whole thing, it's not a piece of it, right? It's not like a cut out piece of it. It's the whole thing. So a whole number is anything that's not a decimal. So if we used a number line and we have 2 and 3 here, it's 2.8. We could draw 10 spots in between it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oops, not exactly even. And that's 10 spots. See, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spots. 2.8 would be 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, 2.6, 2.7, 2.8, 2.9, and not 2.10, but 3.0. And 2.8 would be right here. So we're going to see, is it closer to the 2 or is it closer to the 3? It's definitely closer to the 3. It asks us that question. It says determine if it's closer to the 2 or the 3. There's only 2 spots between it here, 1, 2, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spots on this side. 8 spots and 2 spots, and so it's definitely closer to 3. So 2.8 rounded to the nearest whole number is 3. We're going to do some more with this. Let's turn the page. Here's our key concept. So to round decimals, we underline the digit in the place you want to round. Look to the digit to its right. If it's 4 or less, keep the underlined digit. If it's 5 or higher, round it up. And then we drop any digits to the right. So that's a lot of key concepts, so let's work through that. It says round 46.73 to the nearest tenth. So our first step is to underline the digit in the tenths place, and remember, that's this one right here. It's the 7. This is our tens, ones, tenths, and hundredths. So we're going to underline the tenths. It said round to the nearest tenth. So we found our target. I like to do this way of remembering. It's find your target, look next door, 5 or higher, raise the score. So we find our target, we underline it, we look next door. We look at that 3, and 3 is, look next door, 5 or higher, raise the score. Is 3 higher than 5? No, it's less than 5. So we don't raise the score. We keep the underlined digit, 46.7, and anything after that, we drop. We drop anything after our underlined digit. We just ignore them. We pretend it doesn't exist. If we were rounding in, you can also add zeros. That's fine too. So 46.73 rounds to 46.7. 46.7. So let's do some practice. Round 8.74 to the nearest 1, our ones. So we underline the ones, find your target, look next door. Is that, look at the 7 to the right of the 8. So we're looking at right to the right of our target. Is that higher than a 5? Is 7 more than 5? Yep. So we raise the score. So we go back to our number, and that jumps up 1. 1 plus 8 is 9. And if we did our number line, remember we'd have 8, and 9, and we divide it up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 10 spots in between it. And we'd say 8.7. So we've got 8.1, 8.2, 8.3, 8.4, 8.5, 8.6, 8.7, 8.8, 8.9, 8.74. It's actually a little bit in between that. It's definitely closer to 9 than it is to 8. And if you counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on this side and 1, 2, 3 on this side. So it rounds to 9. Okay, let's do some of the independent practice. We're rounding it to the place indicated. So hundredths, we've got tenths, hundredths. Find your target. Look next door. 5 or higher. Is that 6 higher than 5? Yes. So we go back and raise the score. So I'm going to write down 5.4 and my score gets raised. So it's 8. And I can just leave everything else after that. Okay, this number, 983 and 625 thousandths, to the hundredths place. So we've got tenths, hundredths. There's my target. Find your target, underline it. Look next door. 5 or higher. It is a 5 or higher, so we go back and raise the score. So I write down my number, 983.6. Now I need to raise that. 1 more than 2 is 3. Okay. This one in the ones, well, we've got tens, ones. So find your target, look next door, 5 or higher, it is 5 or higher, go back and raise the score, so 29. And I can leave anything after that. You can put your decimal there if you want, but you don't need it, because that is where that invisible decimal is. Okay, let's do 5 through 7. 4.35 to the tenths. Find your target. Here's your tenths. This is why place value is important. You need to know where it's asking. Look next door. 5 or higher. It is a 5 or higher. Go back and raise the score. So we get 1 more on that one. 4.4. This one is the hundredths. We've got tenths, hundredths. Find your target. Look next door. 5 or higher. It is 5 or higher. Go back and raise the score. 110.08. We've got to raise that score. Ones. We've got tens of ones. Find your target. Look next door. 5 or higher. Nope. So we don't go back and raise the score. It just stays, and we don't need to put anything else after our target. Okay, I want you to try and do number 8, 9, and 10, and then come back and check your work. So I want you to do 8, 9, and 10. Pause the video here. I don't have my pause paper, but I'll write it now. Pause the video. And I want you to come back and do 8, 9, and 10, and then we're going to check our work. Okay, this one said to the ones. Here's my ones place. So I found my target. I look next door. 5 or higher. Yes. Go back and raise the score. So 1 plus 1 is 2. Hundredths. We've got tenths, hundredths. The 5 is my target. I found my target. Look next door. 5 or higher. Yes. Go back and raise the score. So I'm going to write everything up to my target, and then I raise the score 1. Ones. Tens, ones. Find your target. Look next door. 5 or higher? No, we don't raise the score, so just write up to your target. So you should have got 2, 7.36, and 48 for those. Same thing again. I want you to complete number 11, 12, and 13. Pause the video, complete 11, 12, and 13, and then I want you to come back and check your work. Okay, tenths. My tenths. We've got ones, tenths. Find your target. Look next door. 5 or higher? Nope. We don't raise the score, so we just rewrite up to the place I underlined. Okay, ones. Find your target. Look next door. Is it 5 or higher? Nope. We don't raise the score, so we just rewrite up to the place we underlined. Tenths. Find your target. Look next door. 5 or higher, yes, go back and raise the score. So we're just going to change that digit, 8.2. That should be what you got there. Feel free to take a second and pause that video if you need more time. And we're going to move on to the next page. Okay, let's see. Number 14 says, what is the length of the $10 bill to the nearest whole number? Remember, whole number means it's not a part of a number. It's not a decimal. It's not a fraction. It's a whole number. So it's anything that side of the decimal point. Whole numbers, not parts. So my target is going to be the ones. That's the lowest whole number I have. Find your target. Look next door. 5 or higher, yes. Go back and raise the score. So my 5 becomes a 6. And it's asking us how long, so 16 centimeters is going to be our rounded. Number 15. The weight of a new touchscreen device is 1.6 pounds. What is the weight to the nearest whole number? Whole numbers are anything this side of the decimal, so we need to make our target the ones. Whole numbers are not decimals. Find your target, look next door, 5 or higher, yes. Go back and raise the score. So that 1 becomes a 2. 2 pounds is our nearest. Okay, hard problems. Number 16. Write 2 different numbers that when rounded to the nearest tenth will give you 18.3. So if we rounded this to the nearest tenth, it wants us to get 18.3. So let's see, it's got to be 18 point something. If I put 18.29, there's my tenth, I round it, it would go up to 18.3. Okay, good. And maybe 18 point, let's try 3.2. Watch this. If I rounded it, it would stay the same. So those 2 numbers round up to 18.3. Okay, let's do this math practice number 2. Use your number sense. What happens if you round this to any place? What happens to all those 9s? What happens if you picked any place and started it? Just think that through for a second. Think if you picked any number, say we picked this one to round it to there, and we look next door, it would go up. Well, what's 1 more than 9? 10, and then that would bump this one, and that would bump this one. So let's take a look. Let's pretend we rounded it to this place, to the hundredths. We look next door, 5 or higher, yes, raise the score. Well, 1 more than 9 is 10. So that place is going to be a 0, my underlined place, and that 1 carries on to that one. Oh, but that means that one is 10, and then the 1 carries on to that one, and then that means that one is 10, and my 1 carries on to that one, and that one is 10, and my 1 carries on to that one, and that is 9, and 10 is 10, 9 and 1 is 10, and the 1 carries on to that one, and then that becomes 10. So it doesn't matter what we do, 99,000 is going to be 10,000 no matter what place we round it to. Okay, last question. What real world situations would you want to round a number in? What real world situations would you want to round a number in? I challenge you to think of your own here, but think about this, what we've got up here. If you're measuring something or weighing something or maybe estimating how much you need of something, any of those things are going to help you. There's a way we use estimating every day. I use it when I go to the grocery store. So if I want to know if I have enough money and I want to buy something, one thing say is $11.49 and one thing is $1.99 and one thing is $3.79, and I want to know if I have enough money without going up to the cash register and looking kind of silly for not having enough, I could round these to the nearest whole numbers, to the nearest dollar. So I can find my target, look next door. Okay, this is about, it doesn't go higher, so this is about 11. My 1, find my target, look next door. Oh, it goes up, so this is about $2. Find my target, look next door. It goes up, this is about 4. So in my head, I can go, oh, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Do I have about $17? And it can save me from kind of not knowing what I'm doing at the cash register. Good work, everybody. Keep it up. Have a good day.